Welcome to New Hope Ice Arena for boys hockey action, an early season non-conference battle tonight. It's the Hopkins Royals visiting the Armstrong-Cooper Wings. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, both teams 1-1 coming in. You know, a good performance for each of them, and then maybe one that wasn't quite as good. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see how these teams match up. They didn't play a year ago. Hopkins just won a couple games. Armstrong-Cooper actually coming off a pretty good season, one of the better ones for them lately.
Yeah, Armstrong-Cooper won the Northwest Suburban Conference West Division, had a pretty good year. I think 14 wins in the regular season, and had a nice season. And, boy, they're coming back with scores. They didn't lose too much, and they're really putting the puck in the net. Their concern tonight is going to be the backside in the pipes to see what happens here.
Both teams are going to use goalies who are be starting for the first time this season, and it'll be interesting to see how that part of it holds up. You know, Armstrong-Cooper 10-0 win in that first game against Providence Academy. They felt like they had a lot of great chances that they missed. They also ran into a pretty good goaltender. So I think they're looking to, you know, wanting to have this be a bounce-back game a little bit. They felt like they were better than they showed that night.
Yeah, they really were kind of disappointed with it. You know, pounding 10 goals and then only getting 2, and they had flow and they were taking good shots. They missed the net 14 times, and that, you know, that's kind of an indication things aren't going to be your way that night, etc. So they're looking to rebound to put the puck in the net, and most importantly, looking at the new goaltender and see what he can keep out. Hopkins, on the other hand, they won 2 games last year. Okay. But a lot of optimism. Lost 12 seniors, but the 9 they got back seem to be stepping up to the plate here. They're pretty excited about how they can play when they put it together. They've seen it in scrimmages. They want to see it in a game. Get rid of the jitters now. This is the 3rd game of the year for you. Let's start playing the way we can. And talking to Coach, he was pretty optimistic about it.
Let's talk about key players to look at in tonight's contest. One of those guys returning for Hopkins and centering their first line tonight, Johnny Connor.
Well, you know, it's funny. We were talking to the coach, and I mentioned his name, and his eyes just lit up. Now, he only scored 1 goal last year, but that's why he's already got his first goal this year. But he says he's the smallest guy on the ice, and he'd probably be the fastest. They can't catch him, and he really motors. So I'm looking forward to seeing this little motor run, and maybe he can get a couple more goals for the Hopkins Royals tonight.
And for Armstrong-Cooper, Jack Gergen is another guy who's kind of small in stature, but definitely skilled. He had a good year last year. He's off to a good start again this year.
Well, you know, we did the game last year, and he was obviously the best player for Armstrong-Cooper last year. You know, he's strong. That's the thing with him. He may be small, but he's built. He's got good hands. He's got a good sense of the ice. He gets the puck on the net, but he knows where his teammates are. And he, again, I've said it before, he stirs the drink for Armstrong-Cooper, so he'll be fun to watch again. He's got a C on his chest, so everybody's looking for him to take a lead, so we'll see if he does tonight.
These teams were in the same conference for a long time, obviously haven't been for a while. However, it is a section game, and that's something that both coaches, you know, when it comes time to seed, you look at, okay, who have you played, who have you beat? You know, they don't harbor any illusions that they're going to be seated ahead of Edina or anything like that, but it still can help you to maybe avoid a play-in game or to get a little bit higher in that first round.
Well, you really don't want to get Edina in the first round or, you know, one of the stronger teams. So, yes, these are important games for them, you know, especially rolling through. They got to start putting stuff together now. And when you're playing for something, it tends to get the kids a little more jumped up. So I expect an intense game tonight. You know, again, it's the old rivalry. The kids don't know that, but it's still an important game for both of them.
All right, it's Hopkins versus Armstrong-Cooper. We'll drop the puck in just a moment here at New Hope Ice Arena on CCX Sports.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
And welcome back here to New Hope Arena as we get set for hockey action tonight. The Royals and the Wings getting set to do battle here. Home opener tonight for Armstrong-Cooper, and I'm going to go with the senior in net, Justin Harding, getting the call this evening. Well, at the other end, it'll be Ethan Myers getting his first start of the season for Hopkins.
He got thrown into the campaign last year rather early when they're for a starting goal. They had a broken collarbone, and he had a little bit of a rough season. So we'll see if he's adjusted now to the speed and stands up to these wingers who've scored 12 goals this year and have shown some firepower. So we'll see if he can hold up to the onslaught that the Wings want to put on him.
Hopkins will start Connor's line. Johnny Connor between Thomas Gazic and Reese Bloom, with Mario Hadley and Connor Stack out defensively. Hayden Marsh between Noah Wiesjohn and Eric Schneider for Armstrong-Cooper, with Braden Gray and Evan Axel on the blue line for the Wings. Hopkins carrying it here. First shot attempt of the game blocked by one of the Wings captains, Braden Gray. And then it slips past Hadley and down the rink. Royals will have to go back and regroup. Hadley is a big junior defenseman.
He is big.
Takes a check right there from Schneider, who's no small guy himself at 6'3", 183. And now the Royals able to break it up, but not for long, as Marsh carrying it back in. Marsh forced wide, able to regain control of the puck here. Looking back to the point, and they'll slide it across, looking for Gray. Gray throws it at the net. Battle for it along the wall here. The Wings able to come out of there with a quick shot and a goal. Noah Wiesjohn pumps it in. 55 seconds in, and the Wings get on the scoreboard first.
Well, the freshman stepping up here, coming off the near boards, and just puts it right up into the upper left-hand corner. A quick shot. I'm not sure the Hopkins goalie was ready for it. He just let it go, and the freshman gets on the board first for the Wings here. Starting to show that firepower right off the bat here, Jay.
First goal of the season, and I believe first goal of the career, too. And certainly for Noah. And obviously his dad, Todd, was the former head coach the Armstrong boys hockey program, coaching at Rogers, and his grandfather Bruce was the original head coach and longtime head coach here at Armstrong. Schneider will get the assist on Wiesjohn's first goal, and 55 seconds in, AC. This is one that young Noah's going to remember here. Pops that one home, went stick side with it. And that's got to be an exciting feeling. Any hockey player, first varsity goal like that.
No question about it, especially with a program that he's been associated with all of his life pretty much.
Carried back into the Royal zone. It just kicks to the corner there. Sam Haberman flicking it around for Hopkins. Now they're able to pitch it on out. Wyatt Nelson giving chase, but Bjorn Jensen there first for AC. They've got pretty much the same defensive core for the most part as they had a year ago. And Dan Charleston, he didn't hesitate to say, we think we're a better team this year than last. Yeah, and they did. You know, they won the conference, as Dan said, the West Division of the Northwest Suburban. There's a look at Danny Charleston. And you know, he's pretty excited with the group he has. They've kind of slowly but surely built back up a little bit.
Well, he was talking about skills and all that. This group has got a lot of skills, which, you know, you couldn't say that about a few of the earlier teams he had on. And, you know, it's exciting to hear him say that. So, and so far, Jay, with 12 goals so far in 2 games, they've done a pretty good job.
Here they come in the rush. Gergen carrying it. Gergen waiting, fires, and he scores. 2-0 as Gergen showing off his vision and stick handling right there. He just waited, kind of deked one way and then went glove side and snapping it by Myers.
Did I mention hands when we talked about him? Did I mention? Look at this. Give it, bang, gone. And he used the trailer really well as bait and got the goalie kind of leaning the wrong way and just ripped it in. And the Hopkins defense got to step up. They can't let him walk in like that. Both goals were well within the faceoff dots. And you got to step up and either block it or get on him. You can't let him have a free shot like that.
The lone assist goes to number 18, Gargan from Enderley, time of the goal.
That's Gordon's third goal of the year, giving him 6 points. He had a 40-point season last year, Jay, with 15 goals. He's off to a good start.
Enderley getting the lone assist on the goal there by Gergen. So couldn't ask for a much better start in their home opener here for Armstrong-Cooper as they get a couple goals in the first 2 minutes, and here they come again.
Oh my.
Backhander out front. Myers the save on that one. As that attempt coming from Jack Campion. Now squirts back out to center. Sam Schreiner back to play it there for AC. And it's retaken here by the Royals here. Henry Sweeney, and then thrown back into the Hopkins zone. Armstrong-Cooper changing up as Hadley went back to get it. Following up here is Jackson James for Hopkins. James throwing it on net. A big rebound and then a backhander by Henry Sweeney into the midsection of Harding, and he will hang on and force a faceoff here.
Good comeback here by the Royals. They really needed to get something. Get it out of the zone and fire the puck at the net. I think that's a great idea. It doesn't matter the angle. They'll get some shots on net. Now they got an offensive zone faceoff.
Ooh, and put out front again after the win. Henry Sweeney puts another one in right on Harding, and he'll stop that one. Royals control the draw. Hadley a shot. That one hit a teammate and bounced to the corner. Haberman trying to dig that puck free again. Boy, Hopkins is kind of an interesting mix. They've got a lot of small guys and then a couple of giants mixed in too. There isn't a lot of in-betweens.
Yeah, the coach talked about this line, though. He said if this line ever really puts it together, they can be very, very dangerous. He puts them out there at the second goal scorer, and all of a sudden they've got some time in the attack zone, and they're putting pressure on the wings.
Picked up here by Schneider, carrying it, avoids the check, and offside though. Didn't quite hear the whistle. I could tell by the official's reaction though that he was slowing up, but didn't hear the whistle, and I don't think all the players did either.
Well, the goalie attacked and played it straight up. Boy, nice move there, trying to bust into the zone too.
Easy to see why the off winger would have been offside though, because he had to make that move right at the blue line. There's a shot, and that one kicked out. Long rebound given, but Myers had to feel good about making a save.
Yeah.
They've come with a couple of real tough shots on him and that have gotten by him already. Jackson Stussy trying to get it in deep there for the Royals. He's interrupted right at the blue line, and now it comes back to center and flicked back in for Hopkins by George Greeley. Wings looking to break it out, but unable to do so on the initial try anyway. Braden Gray back to pick it up now for Armstrong-Cooper. Got it over for Schneider. And now here they come on the rush. Drew Ide trying to sidestep a check there. Royals pick it up here with Zach Taylor, putting it on the stick of Reese Bloom. Bloom took a check there. Pretty good job positionally to knock him off it there by Sam Schreiner. And here comes Gergen. Gergen waiting for the trailer. Here's a quick shot, and there's a nice save by Myers as he denies the attempt for Armstrong-Cooper as Jangula there.
Well, they're a good confidence booster for Myers here in the net, because that was as quick as it comes, and he was slightly screened by the D. Great play set up by the wings, but nice save, and just get him back in this game here. You let in two, but that's not out of reach this early in the game.
Long one goes wide, knocked down to the corner. Enderley working from behind the net here for Armstrong-Cooper. Then down he goes. Gets right back up though and kicks it to his stick. So they maintain possession. Jack Campion. And leave it now for Gergen, but that one nicely taken, but then taken right back by Campion. unable to get a shot attempt away here, and now the Royals looking to try and break it out, but not so fast. Gergen briefly took it, then right back, Gazic. Gazic getting around. Here's his shot, and that one went off the shoulder, I think, of Harding.
Well, Harding pressed up against that short side, really realizing the Royals, they're going to be firing at anything they get a glimpse at.
Pass into the skate of Campion, and he couldn't control it. Here comes Sweeney, and that long one denied.
Oh.
Right back the other way comes Enderle, but that one poke check from him, and a turnover back the other way. Flipped into the AC zone there where it was gloved down by Carter Lucas. And now we'll get a whistle as they throw one on net again, and Harding will stop it here. 10:57 to go in period number one. Armstrong-Cooper leading Hopkins by a score of 2-0 as you get a look at Corey Peterson, the Royals head coach, and kind of cautiously optimistic about his team. He felt like they played a team that, Hudson, Wisconsin, a very good team, and they ended up losing that one by a 6-2 score. But he felt like when they were playing well in scrimmages and stuff, that he had the team that could float a little bit, and he was pretty excited about it. And he said, we just have to really translate that, full bore into the game with all three lines.
Exactly, yeah. And right now the Haberman line looks to be the line that's doing it. The other two are not quite there, but the biggest problem he's having right now is his defense. Very non-physical, watching the puck, not getting on bodies, and it's caused him a lot of problems. And that's where the 2 goals came from, Jay. They just let him get in too close, and nobody put a body on anybody. So that's got to get fixed right away.
Face-off coming up in the wing zone here. Got a couple of great chances early, capitalized on them both. The play has evened out a little bit, I think, since then.
Yeah.
They came out pretty juiced and got a couple good shifts to start it out and got a couple of goals out of it. Guess you can't expect that you're going to keep that pace up all night, though. Defenseman fell, and that creates a little bit of a chance. Myers to save a big long rebound. Here's a drive that caroms off the glass and up and out of play as the follow-up came from Carter Lucas. As you get a look at Jangula here shooting, Myers just had to fight it off, and then a big high bounce, and then that one skips up and out of play.
Jangula's got a cannon. That was a heavy shot coming in. And Myers could do all they could do was just get it out of there as quick as he can, no matter where the rebound went.
Down to the corner here, and the puck squirts free. Royals trying to break it out, but Lucas jabs it back down deep. Ben Anderson leaving it now. Here's a quick shot. Myers the save. Boy, he has sharpened up and made a couple of pretty good saves here after those 2 early beautiful goals for the Wings. Knocked back out to center. Chased down here by Lucas for Armstrong-Cooper. Spinning away from a forechecker there, puts it on the stick of Ben Anderson, but Royals push it back down deep into the corner. Little collision away from the puck. Hopkins wanting an interference call, but none coming.
Boy, watching the Wings in this offensive flow, Jay, they really moved the puck well.
Here comes Sweeney, is all alone for now as they're changing behind him. Now a follow-up chance, and the Wings hack it on out. And too far here as Enderle was almost in the right place at the right time to receive that outlet pass, even though it really was more of a clearing attempt. But so we'll come back down into the AC zone here. Hopkins has matched him in shots now, 7 shots apiece.
They've come back, but it's been a lot of individual efforts where the Wings have really done some nice team play. 2 guys are in the zone at all times, usually coming in. It isn't just one guy.
And here's where shots can be a little misleading, because the Wings have had the much better chances. The 2 goals, but not even just that. A couple others that Myers had to make good saves on. Meanwhile, the ones that have gone on net, that was a pretty good chance right there, though. I was just about to say Harding hasn't seen his tougher ones. Now a 3-on-1 chance the other way. Gergen sliding it across. Oh, and Myers able to make the big stop on Enderle. And Myers, with as tough as this game started out for him, he has really started to perform.
Great save. We'll take a look at Aberman's chance right here, and just gets rejected right in front. Then they come right back. Now, here's what they do. They jump in this play really fast. 3 guys are coming down for the Wings. Beautiful drop pass, shovel pass over to the cross, but Myers got a cross on it. Just beautiful. He wasn't sure he had it, but he did a nice job. Remember that save. It might be important later.
Pops loose at the Royals blue line. Armstrong-Cooper will have to regroup here. Evan Axel, and they lose it at the line. Stack following up here for Hopkins. Puts it out front, but it just squirted away off the skate there of Connor. Thrown back down deep. Connor trying to get in there on the forecheck. Wings had it, lost it. Connor jabs it free. Now a follow-up try. Oh, and a nice stop. I don't know if Harding could even really see that one, but he was in the way anyway and made the save. Wings getting a little sloppy deep in their own zone there, nearly cost them. Now back the other way. Here comes Wiestjohn, who scored the first goal of the game, putting it out front. It's deflected up in the air. Wiestjohn gets it back. Now his teammate Schneider takes it. Schneider throws it. It goes all the way through. They play it back down deep here. Schneider able to win that puck back here for Armstrong-Cooper. Back out to the point. They look for the tip. Myers the save. And then a little extracurricular out front as Wiestjohn tumbled over the goaltender. It's another look at Hopkins forcing the turnover. Look at the stick by Connor there. Freed it up. And then he just left it off. And there you saw the stop on a pretty close-in shot as Gazic nearly pulled them within one.
Well, Harding with a fabulous blocker save there. Look, he's 6'4", man. He's covering a whole lot of net with that body, even when he's on his knees.
Hopkins has to touch up here, and the Wings circle back. That pass intercepted. Didn't quite make it out of the zone, but now here comes Bjorn Jensen, the defenseman, leading the rush. Follow-up opportunity. Drew Eyed dropping it back. It's batted around, loose, and then the net comes off, and it's going to be outside the zone on the face-off as they ruled that the momentum of Jensen was what forced that net off.
It's kind of like watching the old Boston Celtics against the Philadelphia 76ers. The Wings are just running a fast break like it's going out of style. Hopkins tends to run more of a half court, but boy, oh boy, the Wings fast getting in the zone. They are constantly getting odd man rushes here, Jay, in the first period, like nobody's business.
Thrown in just wide of the net by Jensen. Puck taken away there by Haberman for Hopkins, and it's going to bounce up and out of play. So we'll get a face-off coming up in the Hopkins zone. If you're just joining us, Armstrong-Cooper scored a goal in the first minute and then scored another goal about a minute later. It took a 2-0 lead, and at that point you're kind of thinking, wow, is this going to be a blowout? But it's definitely evened up some in the play, and still at 2-0 right now here. Later on in the first, about 6:15 to go in this opening period here from New Hope Arena. Thrown back in on net. And Myers going to leave it there as the Royals will try and get a breakout going. Back out to center where it's gathered up by Jensen. And the Royals now get it with Bloom. And that one rolled toward the net. Harding is going to hang on and force a face-off here. So Harding has faced not a lot of tough chances, but a couple that were decent. And again, both goalies getting their first starts of this season. So you're eager to get your opportunity to get in there and see what you can make happen.
Well, I like Myers' recovery after getting burned in the first 2 minutes. He's really stepped up to the plate and he's made some sensational saves. Just not saves, he's made sensational saves here for the Hopkins Royals.
And in fairness to him, both of the early chances were pretty good chances. You know, closer in than you'd like to allow, that's for sure.
Yeah. Not on him whatsoever.
Back out to center, intercepted there, but Gergen trying to free it back up. Gergen throws a check, and that frees a teammate. Now here's an opportunity for Enderle, and he scores! Enderle pumping it home just when we were talking about Myers rebounding and playing well. They got another odd man rush, a little 2-on-1, and Riley Enderle scores his 4th goal of the season.
Well, we knew that the Wings could score. I mean, they Hopkins had to know that they were going to come rifling pucks in. Big check right there, and that made the difference. And look, I mean, Myers basically got him, he's looking at him all alone again, inside the face-off circle there, and they're hitting that upper left-hand corner like bing, bing, bang, boom.
Number 18, Riley Henry. Assist going to number 10, Jack Gergen, and number 11, Jack Campion.
Gergen and Campion will get assists on that goal. Gergen's check was really what helped to make it happen. I don't know if technically he probably should get an assist on that if he didn't touch a puck, but it was certainly a key portion of what happened there. And I don't mind a guy getting rewarded for that, because we saw it on the replay. It was really a good look. That check was what did it. And he, you know, he did it in a nice calculating way too. He knew that, well, I might be able to go after it with my stick, but I may or may not get it. If I take the body, I'm going to create a chance for somebody else.
I couldn't agree with you 100% more. It was really good work, and that sprung the play, so yes. And a little home cooking don't hurt.
And I don't care what sport it is, when you play unselfishly and you play, you know, for your teammates, and it's going to make for a much better season all the way around, whether it, you know, whatever it means for your own personal stats.
Well, the players know. I mean, the players know. I mean, the Gorgons are going to get recognized for that in the locker room, probably in between the first and second period. Like, you know, great check, man. Way to go. Ooh.
Forced in deep into the AC zone in the corner. They've started to give up a few more, you know, looks closer to the net probably than they would like here too. It isn't though Hopkins didn't have many decent chances early, but of late there have been a few more that have been a little sketchier. I think they're probably not quite as thrilled with their defensive play as they were. Armstrong-Cooper thought that was going to be a hand pass, but play goes on. Here's a quick shot, save. Wow, a nice move to the net there by Gozic, the sophomore forward. Now we see what Coach was talking about. Some of they got a couple very skilled, small, younger guys. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But then Harding stood his ground and made the save.
Well, they've had to really work hard to get good shots here, too. And there's been a little fumbling, a little puck bouncing off the stick, etc., where if that wouldn't have happened, there might have been even better chances.
Oh, my, a huge hit thrown there by Jesper Hoffman. And it's going to be a roughing call, looks like, against Hopkins. At first glance, I thought it was just a hit that happened to be real. Oh, he led with his head. Ooh, that was a headbutt. I take it back. That was a good call.
Well, it's glad we got instant replay so we don't look dumb. You know, my gosh, it looked like a great check from up here, but once you saw it on the screen, you could see what happened.
You know, and I'm going to go from saying no penalty to maybe he's lucky it was only 2.
Yeah.
If they had really seen how basically headbutted him.
You and I noticed that head jack backwards real quick.
So AC to the power play, trying to build on this 3-0 lead. Oh, the pass across, and Enderle mishit it. It chips wide. But they've moved the puck well enough that I think they're going to feel good. Now it's shorthanded 2-on-1 though for Hopkins. That pass deflected. And then sliding into the goal was Wyatt Nelson. He banged into Harding and then knocked the net off its mooring as well. As you see the pass, it was tipped. And then
that had a chance of going in, Jay. When it bounced off that stick, if Wyatt hadn't come in there and moved the net, that might have had a chance to roll. But good look, though. Good look by Hopkins. They had a 2-on-1, and they tried to make it work. Just a little, the saucer pass was a little bit off.
Race for it here. Gergen's going to get there first. Gergen circling behind the net. Bring it back out high now, and that one was deflected away on the shot attempt from Drew Ide. Now Gergen, pass denied. They spin out of there with it though. Ide playing back on the point on the power play is their second line centerman. Back around for Gergen here from Enderle. Minute to go on the power play for Armstrong-Cooper. They already lead 3-0, looking to add to it. Here's a quick shot. Myers the save, couldn't control the rebound, and then Myers got all tangled up with one of the wings out front. I believe it's Campion. or make that Schneider.
Yeah. You know, last year the Wings had a tremendous power play. It was going at a 36% rate. And if you can be at 20, 25%, that's a pretty good bar. You're doing 36. You got some firepower there.
Myers talking with the referee there, I think was hoping to see a penalty call. There was not one forthcoming though. It might have just gotten tangled a little bit there. Back out to the point, Axel. Axel working his way down to the circle here and play it behind the net.
What a great name for a defenseman, Axel. I love it.
Axel into the circle, shooting, save Myers, rebound came loose, and they score. They kept with it and jabbed it home, and Armstrong-Cooper will add one on the power play as Axel is going to get it. Be his first goal of the season. You see he follows this up coming from the circle. There's the first save. They couldn't quite get the clear though, and Axel then just sweeping it past Myers.
Okay, young man, you owe me a cup of coffee. I just called you, my gosh, and you got one. Nice play, though. You know, again, the same thing, the same principle. Follow your rebound, especially on the power play. So the romp is on right now, and I'll tell you, Armstrong is just really taking total control of this game with a minute and 40-some seconds left.
Assist go to number 9, Noah Wiesjohn, and number 13, Hayden Marsh. Axel from
Wiesjohn and Marsh will get the assist on a power play goal at 15:03. So 4-0 lead here for Armstrong-Cooper as they make Hoffman and the Royals pay for that roughing penalty.
Wiesjohn's having a pretty good night. He's got 2 points already for the freshman in this first period here.
There's a shot that goes just wide from Hopkins. Kind of an interesting game. Here's a quick shot. Oh, and a stop there, and then the rebound swept wide. I was just going to say, and to a certain extent, Hopkins, maybe has had a chance or two that could have gone in as well. Maybe not. I don't know. It's just been a strange game in that way. The chances have been really A grade for Armstrong-Cooper for the most part. But it isn't like they've blown them off the ice as much as maybe the score might look. Here come the Wings. Pass across. And that one fanned on as Jangala had a pretty good opportunity. Now he drags it to the front. Backhander that trickles just wide. Ben Anderson gets to it. Pinching in there from the point was Lucas. So we're under a minute to play in the first period, and it's been about as good as you could hope for the home team here. They lead at 4-0. Armstrong-Cooper. Hitting is picking up here once you take a check, you come back, and then it just kind of escalates a little bit from there. Sweeney shooting, and Harding closes the pads there. 21 seconds to go in this first period, and we'll get a draw in the Armstrong-Cooper zone.
Well, the biggest difference is the dominating factor that the Wings have inside the attack zone. I mean, the puck is moving. Somebody's always open. They set the triangle up. They get somebody wide on the offside wing. They just play it well.
Put out front there. Harding covers and then was jabbed at by Slattery, and the Wings didn't like it. Officials jump in, and looks like they are going to take one guy from each team here. They're going to take Slattery, but then also the defenseman who came in to help out. I think that's Axel.
Well, typical play in front of the net in the slot. When you take a swipe at my goalie, I'm going to take a swipe at you, and I think they're good calls. Oh, wait a minute, we got an extra wing in the box.
You're right. They will get Braden Gray as well.
Double minor. No, just an extra person in there. Probably a roughing.
Yeah, it looked like. At least there you get a look right there at the slash on the goalie's noggin, and then there's a shot over the top of the head there from Axel, and then Gray also gave him a little cross check. And to be honest with you, I think most situations you wouldn't have taken two Armstrong-Cooper guys there necessarily. I mean, not saying it was wrong, but usually when you're see somebody hack your goalie if two different guys give them a little something. Only one of them is going to go, but.
Minor penalties have been assessed for the Wings. Number 3, Braden Gray, 2 minutes for roughing. Also for the Wings, number 21, Evan Axel, 2 minutes for roughing.
Axel and Gray both get roughings, and Slattery will also get a roughing penalty, and we come to the end of the first period here. So the power play will carry over into the second for Hopkins, but a dominant first period for Armstrong-Cooper as they lead it after 1. Our score is Armstrong-Cooper 4, Hopkins nothing. We'll be back here with more hockey in a moment.
The Royals 50.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Welcome back here to New Hope Ice Arena. We've completed 1 period. It was quite an entertaining first period, and obviously the Armstrong-Cooper Wings, the home team, off to a great start with a 4-0 lead as we look at an extensive set of highlights from the first period because there were a lot of chances. Here's number 9, Noah Wiestjohn, coming off the wall with the puck. The freshman pumps it home for his first goal of the season. That was only 55 seconds in. Then they come again. Here comes Jack Gergen, waiting, and he snaps it home. And that one was about a minute later, so they had 2 goals in the first 2 minutes for the Wings. The chances were far from done, though. Hopkins starting to get something going a little backhand try there, and Harding was tested on that one. And then a shot that Myers makes a save on. Then the rebound, Karams off a defenseman and just misses the top of the net there. And Hopkins again later as the period went. There's a really nice save by Harding. I'm watching these replays between periods here, and some of these were closer chances than it first looked like. And then at the other end, Myers sprawling out and making a beauty there for Hopkins. And here's another good opportunity for the Royals that Harding turned away. Gergen, a nice check here, frees it up. Campion sliding it across. Enderle snapping it right off the inside of the goal post on the stick side to make it 3-0. Great little move to the net there by Gazic for Hopkins. And then Armstrong-Cooper with another chance there. Myers 2 big saves right there. And then here's the 4th goal. Axel shooting, and it comes back out, and Axel just chipped it by. And that was a power play goal late in the period for AC. And you see a wild first period. You won't see a lot of periods with this many shots on net. And penalties will carry over. Hopkins right now will be on a power play heading in to period number 2. So we'll drop the puck for the second in just a moment. Armstrong-Cooper leading Hopkins 4-0 here in boys hockey on CCX Sports.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Team's back out here getting set for period number 2, and you saw a very eventful first period with Armstrong-Cooper dominating on the scoreboard, although Hopkins, you see, certainly came back after a sluggish start to get some definite quality chances. So, maybe this one isn't as over as you might have thought. We do see a goaltending change for Hopkins, as Dan called between periods. Bobby Wilson, the senior, is going to come in net to begin period number 2 for the Royals. He had started their first couple games. Ethan Myers got the start of kind of an interesting first period, and for Myers in that he allowed 4 goals, but he also made a lot of big saves there. They kind of hung him out to dry a little bit, so I can understand the moves, definitely.
Yes.
But at the same time, he I think he definitely had some good moments out there as well. But a lot of times you give up 4 goals early, you're going to make that change just to change momentum as well. So
true, and it's a message to the other guys in the team that you didn't protect him very well. You better pick up your end of things now too.
So the Royals on the power play as we begin period number 2. There were coincidental penalties and then a second one assessed Armstrong-Cooper. So they have 2 guys in the box and Hopkins has 1 here. So a 5-on-4 man advantage for the Royals, which sometimes can be a little tough to begin a period. You're not really in the flow yet and trying to get your offensive attack going. And that one deflected up and out of play.
Yeah, just Armstrong forced them over on those boards quite a bit. They couldn't get it back to the center point, which is what they were trying to do here. And they look like the Wings had a guy ready to pounce on it for a breakaway. So if they can get that out to the middle, it'll give them a little more flexibility, and out it comes.
The Royals won the draw, but couldn't quite put it on target to the point. Bjorn Jensen banking it out and down the rink here for the Wings. Back to pick it up is Jesper Hoffman for Hopkins. 55 to go in their power play here as they try and get on the board and chip away at that lead. And again, from what we saw in those highlights, the score, yeah, it's lopsided, but a really pretty good first period for Justin Harding and net for Armstrong-Cooper. A couple of those you wouldn't have really faulted him if they had gotten by him. So
yeah,
the Wings happy with what they saw from their senior getting his first start in net. Both Justin Harding and Colin Spellman were on the JV a year ago, and Harding was going to get the start in one of the 2 games they played earlier, but he was ill, so Spellman ended up taking them both.
Well, Coach Charleston told us, we were talking before the game too, what he wanted to see in this game was what was going to happen in between the pipes. They were concerned about that. He knew they could score goals, which is self-evident.
Ooh, there's a nice stop. Big rebound, though, and Harding was scrambling to get to his feet as the Royals were unable to control that bouncing puck. And the Wings able to get it on out. Stopping it is Wilson there behind the net. He'll leave it for the big defenseman Hadley. Under 10 to go in the power play for Hopkins. Royals trying to get it set up, but instead the Wings grab it and ring it on out. Penalties. Well, Gray out of the box. The other 2 coincidentals have to wait until the next whistle here, but we're back to 5 skaters aside. Pass intercepted there by Jensen. Plays it ahead to Gergen. Gergen on the move, but jabbed away from him at the line by Connor Stack. Now they come again. Hayden Marsh playing it around there to Campion, and now back out to the point. And that shot blocked. A brief moment of panic there for Jack Steinke when you get your shot blocked out high like that. Now here's a stick save by Wilson on the long one from Sam Schreiner, the defenseman. Gozic coming back the other way. Gozic 2-on-3 here as they hit the zone. Takes a bump there, and Gozic goes down hard in the corner. And there's a giveaway here. Shot denied as Jackson Stussy was just off the bench and the recipient of a bad pass there and had a chance for the Royals. Now here comes Armstrong-Cooper with Riley Enderle, and a long one thrown on net there. Wilson deflecting it up and out of play. The 2 guys who were remaining in the box will now come out, Slattery and Axel. So the penalties are done. We are at 5 aside, and penalty box is empty here as they're early in the second period. Still 4-0 Armstrong-Cooper.
Well, and Wilson getting another shot on that he deflected widen up, and that's good. He needed to see a little rubber just to kind of get himself into the game here.
That one will pop back out to center. Chased down by Gray. Braden Gray will turn and reverse it off a skate though, and then played right back to Gray. Nice breakout here as they get it to Ide coming up the middle. Ide on the rush, had it squirt away from him before he could make a play with it. Ben Anderson trying to get it back to Ide. It's jabbed around. Axel gets to it at the blue line. Axel's shot knocked down. And they come up with it in front. Jangala's shot, and Wilson squared up nicely and made the save, and then he whacks at a forward out front. Knocked Ide's stick away from him. Picked up here by Hoffman. And then the Royals will zip it down the ice. Going to be an icing call coming up against Hopkins here. 13-11 to go in the second. It's 4-0 Armstrong-Cooper. That was our score after one.
Well, in that last rush of the Wings, again, getting that offense spread out. But Hopkins did a much better job that time, kind of defending him and contesting pretty much every puck. They didn't have time to take a look and move it. They were on him right off the bat. And that was one thing they had to change for the Royals.
Gergen won that draw, nearly got a chance for himself out of it, but the Royals able to recover. Nice bank pass ahead there to Wyatt Nelson, but a little trouble with it, and now comes back up with it. Nelson now will play it back out to the point here to Greeley, and they score! Greeley able to thread it through traffic. Not sure if it was anybody getting a piece of it or not, but looks like it's going to be Greeley's goal here as he shoots it. Hit a defender, but not another Hopkins player. So Greeley should get credit for this one, it looks like. And Hopkins is on the board. And sometimes that's the kind of goal you need to get you going a little bit. A little bit of a dirty one, a greasy goal there with bouncing off a player in front. And they had some traffic. And so it's now 4-1 game.
And again, you begin to wonder, who put the wall in front of the net, for heaven's sakes. We're never going to break through it. And there they go. Nice play, too. Set it up center point. 2 screens in front and got a deflection. And like you said, Jay, they don't call them dirty goals. They just say goal.
Sweeney and Nelson get the assist on Greeley's goal at 4:06 of the second. And now Hopkins trying to get some pressure going again here. Schneider trying to work that puck out along the wall. And Royals come up with it, thrown to the front, but a nice job to reach out and gather it by Evan Axel here for Armstrong-Cooper. Axel floating the pass across, but it was picked off there by Stack. And dumped back out to center there as Schreiner was being pursued heavily. Axel up with it and tipped out. This is going to be an icing call against Armstrong-Cooper. They did get a piece of it, but they're still a good 5 feet at least short of the red line at the time, so icing is the call.
Well, the first 5 minutes here of this period, Jay, it's kind of tilted a little bit towards Hopkins now. They not only got the goal, but a lot more pressure, a lot more movement in the attack zone, and it looks like they buttoned things up a little bit defensively. The next goal could be a real important one.
And knocked away at the blue line here. Ben Anderson trying to get to it. John Martin winning that race, though, after he nearly coughed it up. Wings able to dump it on in. Steinke sending it in deep. Wilson couldn't stop it. And now it squirts away from Gazic. Steinke took a hit as he brought it into the Hopkins zone. Play got more physical as that first period went, and we've seen some hitting early in the second. So penalties, I think, are going to be an issue, an important issue in this game, as they are in any hockey game, really. But icing call here against the Royals, and we will come back down. So Armstrong-Cooper, again, like I said, I don't know that you could really count on duplicating the start you had in that first period, but they're finding themselves, in a hockey game here where it maybe looked like it wasn't going to be for a while.
Well, Hopkins fought back. Now they got a goal. Now they're getting some offensive rhythm here and stuff, and all of a sudden the hitting isn't frustration. The hitting's for a good purpose and a good reason for it. And that's been the difference, and that's why the whistles have been put away.
Gergen ends up circling way around out high there and now falls down. Got the pass, able to slide it across to Carter Lucas, and that one misses everyone. And the Wings have definitely not looked anywhere near as sharp here in the second period, partly to do with Hopkins, partly I think of their own. I think it's natural to start to feel like, we got this one in hand. We're up 4-0 after one. That happens at any level of hockey, and now they've got to kind of find their mojo again.
Yep.
Royals able to control the draw. Put out front, it's off a skate there and taken by Armstrong-Cooper with Carter Lucas. We talked about some size. Carter listed at 6'6", Number 20 for Armstrong-Cooper.
So you can see the difference right there, that Hopkins is really throwing the body around here in their own period. They're not letting Armstrong players run around free.
Here's a chance and a shot. Wilson denies Gergen. Another try at it. And he'll make the stop. And then they come in to clean some things up. And a little battle back there. Jack Campion wasn't liking it.
And George Greeley was kind of saying, not here anymore. I'm tired of you standing in front of my crease. And boy, the Wings, they've really been on the front doorstep of the cage of the goalies, the Hopkins goalies. They get right in there.
Marsh facing off here with Sweeney. Wings control it. Wiesjohn turns and fires. That was tipped wide. Back out to Noah Wiesjohn. Oh, and the redirection in front from Marsh was turned away. And they're able to win it back here with Schneider. Schneider, a quick, hard shot. Wilson the save. And then going to the net was Marsh, and the Royals didn't like it. And I'd be surprised if we don't see penalties this time around.
Yeah, this is good. The Hopkins has proven a point here, Jay. You know, they got run roughshod in the first period, especially with everything in front of the net, and they're just not going to put up with it anymore. You're not going to park here in front of our net anymore.
Sweeney and Schneider really talking things over. Good hard shot there. And there you saw Hayden Marsh and the Royals reacting strongly. Let's see if the penalty box doors are going to open up. It doesn't look like it.
Okay, we'll see if they settle down now that some points have been proven here. But Wiesjohn took a little swing at somebody. I'm surprised he didn't go in.
Wings able to control the face-off. And that shot blocked. That's back the other way comes Gozic. Gozic can really move. Gozic up the right wing, firing. And the save made, and Harding briefly lost sight of that rebound. It was cleared away. And now Wiesjohn gaining control for Armstrong-Cooper, but that pass intercepted at center and then turned back the other way, and it'll be hammered down by Hadley. That's an icing call there, as he kind of didn't realize he had a little more time there than he thought. Just banged it down the rink. But here's another look. Watch this save as fighting it off there was Harding on a good rush. We saw Gozic with great hands earlier on a rush in the first period and got a pretty good attempt away right there. And Harding has played solid in goal tonight for the Wings.
But you see, as the tempo for Hopkins is picked up, all of a sudden pucks are getting on their stick a little bit more, and they're getting opportunities.
Gray unable to keep it in. Now the pass ahead. Nice little back check by Ben Anderson, though, for the Wings, but then he gave it away. Here's Gozic carrying it back in for Hopkins. Gozic firing, and he missed the short side there. And now back the other way, an opportunity. Good job to square him up there by Nordin and get a rush that could have been trouble for the Royals to just kind of go by the wayside. Pass ahead, glancing off the stick of Jangula there. And we get a hand pass call here and another hard check as Jangula knocked down right there. Got to have your head up right now. There's some hitting going on.
We got a new ball game, Jay. This is a whole different scenario right now than what we saw in the first period, and it's working right now to the Royals' favor. The problem they're having right now, especially in that last rush, too, they had a 3-on-2 basically, and he took the shot from the short side and he missed the net. You got two guys standing in front. Don't miss the net. Make it hit a pad.
Royals come up with it, throw it on net here, and diving out is Harding. And if he was thinking he was going to have an easy night, that's definitely not been the case here. The Royals have pretty much dominated this period. They have the only goal of the second.
Yep.
It's a 4-1 lead still for Armstrong-Cooper, but the pace of the game, the play has certainly changed from what it looked like it was going to be in the first few minutes of this hockey game. And Royals come up with it again, and another stop by Harding as he denied Wyatt Nelson, and then a Royal was dumped out front, and I think we're going to have a penalty call coming up on the Wings. Yep, Enderle looks like he's making that slow skate to the box. He'll be a cross-checking minor. No, it's not going to be Enderle heading off, but it is going to be one of the Wings anyway. Yeah, looks like it's Jack Steinke instead there.
Yeah. took some liberties in front, but that shot from a near side, short side, almost got in, Jay. Harding came off that post a little bit, and it was looking like under the arm. He got him just in time, but good opportunity for the Royals.
Royals back on the power play.
A minor penalty assessed for the Wings, number 17, Jack Stanky.
And banked ahead. Ide giving chase here, trying to free it up shorthanded. Tipped into the AC zone and just hammered on out by Bjorn Jensen. So Wilson will stop it behind the net, leaving it for Hadley. Up the right side for Hopkins. Gazic gaining control. And now they lose it and it's knocked back out. So Hopkins has really had trouble. I mean, they haven't had a lot of power play time, but they haven't been very smooth in terms of, zone entry and getting set up.
They're just not moving the puck very well. They're trying too much individual stuff to get it in the zone. Pass the puck, get rid of it.
Sweeney picking it up here after they nearly gave it away at center ice. Pass there, knocked down by Gray. Gray sending it back and now played ahead. Gray, the defenseman, had moved up there, so there was a little bit of open area that they had to cover. Wyatt Nelson trying to spin away from a check. Jensen hit him, but then Nelson stayed with it. Jensen lost his stick. That's the reason why he was not able to really stay with him. He would have had to hold him. Back out to the point. Here's a shot, save, and the rebound covered up. And then bodies out front as a couple sticks are laying on the ice right now.
Well, good play here. Has moved in, brought it back up top, and they got a good heavy shot right there. And Harding, as the Royal was trying to get in front, and was held up in a grasp type check, as I would call it.
It's not a great feeling when you're a defenseman and you're shorthanded anyway, and you lose your stick. It's kind of like, oh my, what are we going to do now? Off the draw, puck lays on the faceoff dot there for a moment, and the Royals get it. 15 to go in the power play for Hopkins. They have battled back to within 4-1 and have played well here in this second period. Royals able to dig it free here. Nelson up with it. Back to the point. He gets a return pass. Penalty time is now over. Armstrong-Cooper will be back to full strength in a moment. And there's a stop. And Sweeney went hard to the net. And now it's AC's turn to not be too happy with that, like we saw at the other end as they came in hard against Harding.
But Sweeney knows that the penalty is over with now, and he went right to the net. And frankly, he got pushed in there, Jay. But he did the right thing. He took an opportunity, and then the rest of the Royals needed to close in there. But nice play by Harding here. He's really holding his ground because he's starting to get rubbed down pretty good now, too. He's had a good game.
Going to bring that face-off out to center ice here. So back to 5 aside here. Still a 4-1 lead for Armstrong-Cooper. They scored twice in the first 2 minutes of the first period and pretty much controlled the first for at least the early parts of it. But now Hopkins has had a pretty good second period here. Wings would love to get that next goal and kind of restore order in the way their line of thinking anyway. Tried to get it to Enderle there and bounces away. Here's a chance. Slattery chases it down. Slattery firing and a save by Harding. And he will cover up on the rebound. And again, things get a little rough after the whistle. And they are going to take one from each side the way it looks here.
But, you know, there's where you saw what I was talking about. Watch him. He's going to come in. He's going to get it on net, and there's a rebound. And all of a sudden, there's some blue jerseys there with an opportunity.
Going to be roughing calls against Axel of Armstrong-Cooper and Taylor of Hopkins. And you can kind of sense that one coming. We've had, after most whistles lately, we've had some stuff going on, and eventually they're going to say, you know what, we gotta at least present the threat that we're going to take you off the ice.
Yeah, settle down a little bit, boys. Settle down a little bit. You know, you can kind of rub without, extending your arm, start pushing to get a little rough with it.
Kind of interesting, in some of these skirmishes, we've seen some smiles mixed in. I don't think there's necessarily, it isn't always that you're angry. You're kind of like out there battling, and maybe some of these guys know each other a little bit too.
Well, they're in District 3 in the youth league. So Hopkins is playing Armstrong-Cooper and Wayzata, and all these teams are all together. So they've known each other for years in the youth.
It'll slide right in on net, and Harding's going to cover it up again here. I kind of agree with what you said a few minutes ago, Dan. The next goal in this game's enormous. If Hopkins gets it, they're pretty much back in it. If they don't, if Armstrong-Cooper gets it, then it's going to be a tall order, even though there's a lot of hockey still to go, obviously, here. 5:25 to play in the second from New Hope Ice Arena. And Armstrong-Cooper on the rush. Ben Anderson carrying it up the right side. Wilson a save, big rebound. And Ide knocked it down and then tried to play it to his stick, and eventually the net comes off. So Wilson having to fight this one off. Again, Bobby Wilson came on in relief to start this second period for Hopkins. There you see Ide, that puck bounced up, and he tried to drop it to his stick, but he was in a little bit of a hurry there, which is understandable considering the situation, so it kind of bounced away from his stick.
Wilson, though, that was tough. He gave up a bad rebound here. He needs to control a little bit more, especially in a shot from the short side like that. Just directing it in the corner. Don't stick it out front, though.
Face-off will come in the wing zone by Armstrong-Cooper. The challenges get significantly tougher coming up. Not that Hopkins, nothing against them, but they got Blaine, Centennial, and Maple Grove right in a row here coming up as their crossover games against the north side of the Northwest Suburban. Penalty coming up here as we are going to get a high sticking minor. So the Royals will go on the power play as it looks as though it's going to be Jensen who will pick it up, and the Hopkins player telling him, go to the box, see you later.
Yeah, see ya, bye-bye. You think this game's got a little intense, Jay? What do you think, huh?
I would say so.
We've had some verbal jousting. We've had some physical hard knocking around, and now we got a little sarcasm going with it.
So Hopkins back to the power play here.
Now, at the end of the last power play, they started moving the puck really well.
Nelson again trying to go right up the middle all by himself, though. Like you said, they not using each other well enough on the way into the zone.
Yep.
And a check there at center. Yeah,
get rid of the
same
puck.
problem. Here comes Gray. Gray shorthanded will play it in deep and then thinks better of it here as the defenseman. He's going to peel back out of there and get back onto the penalty kill. Jackson James carries it in for the Royals. And there's nothing wrong with carrying the puck in, but you have to kind of read the play, whether you got room to or not.
Well, Armstrong-Cooper said to stop you from coming in the middle. That's where all the boxed in. Go wide. Just get in the zone. You don't have to make a play right off the bat coming into the blue line.
And dumped out to center. Knocked down there by Hoffman, but he couldn't quite keep it in the zone. 50 seconds to go in the power play for Hopkins. Again, they've had quite a bit of trouble getting it set up at all here, and they give it away right there. Carter Lucas picks it up, but couldn't get it all the way down the rink. A missed chance there for AC to send it all the way deep and finish changing up. Hayden Marsh back to play it, taken away. Nice job by the Royals. Put out front on a swing and a miss there by Bloom. Now they're getting it set up. Drop back to the point. Hadley, though, fanned on it. And the Wings able to clear it out. Campion trying to get to it. Campion now picks it up. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Carried in, and there's a swing and a miss as Lucas misfired on the first try and then took a check. But the penalty is now over. So Jensen out of the box. 5-on-5 again. Again, each team has one guy still in the box, but the penalty time to the extra player is over. So when the next whistle sounds, those guys can come out. Gergen. Jab loose on the way out. Now they get it across to Gergen. He's 1 against 2 for the moment, kind of waiting for some help. Oh, he dropped it back and taken away, but then lost on the way out. by Gozic, and right back in. Gergen to Enderle, and that one glanced off the outside of the net, it looked like. Back out to the point, but on the wrong side for Jensen there as a right-hand shooter. Dump back into the Hopkins zone off of Connor Stack's stick. And now controlled by Enderle. He turns and fires. It's off the mask of Wilson. Comes back to the point. Battle for it down low. Gergen coming up with it. Gergen will drop it back out high. Here's a shot that never made it there as Wiestron was knocked down in front and it hit his skate. And back out to center. Jensen gaining control here. 1:40 to go in the second. And we're going to get a penalty call against Hopkins for a slash.
Yeah.
So now AC will go on the power play as getting the gate there is Slattery.
Yep. Going to get a slash call. Fairly evident too. I think the stick came out of the hand. Once that happens, that's an automatic. Well, you know, the Wings have made some adjustments here, Jay, too. There were a few odd man rushes that the Royals put in. Now all of a sudden they're very conscious of getting back quickly and covering their backside, not allowing the odd man rush. Now they're getting an opportunity on the power play, and we'll see if they can reestablish that great puck movement they had in the first period in the attack zone.
Number 2, Jack Slattery. 2 minutes for slashing. Slattery for slashing.
Back out high. Jangala dropping it off. They go down low with it. Gergen trying to put it out front. It's off of Wilson and then cleared to center. Jangala will come back. Almost had it taken away clean there by Wyatt Nelson. Nelson behind the net. Took a check. Wings now get it back here. Jangala coming up with it here. Back out to Ide. Now Jangala turning and he shoots and it goes just wide. Enderle trying to get to it as we're under a minute to play in this second period. 2-on-1 shorthanded potential here. Sweeney shooting. It's off the tip of the glove of Harding. And now it's ahead to Gergen. Kicks it to his stick. Gergen on the move. Gergen shooting. And it's tipped up and over the top there. And then Nordin and Gergen battle a little bit there.
Boy, Gergen's just got some magic on that puck, doesn't he? I mean, the only way you're going to stop him, you got to hit him. You just got to hit him because he'll play that puck in front of you and he'll take it away so fast and make your head spin. Made a great move there to create a shot for himself.
Oh, Gergen is going to be penalized here, and it looks like he's the only one who's going to go.
Which gets us even to 4-on-4.
So Gergen have to kind of consider that an ill-advised penalty there. They're on the power play. His shot was blocked by the defenseman, and then he came back with a shot at him. And they're going to bring the faceoff back into the AC zone. So got to kind of hold your composure a little more there as a captain.
Well, they've taken 24 minutes in penalties so far, and for 2 games, that's quite a bit. Starting to show itself here a little bit.
So 4-on-4 hockey here. Gergen goes for cross-checking. Jensen on the move here. Puck slipped away, and now he tried to play it out front. Jensen will track it down. Under 10 to go now in the period. Here's Braden Gray, had a jab loose. And then Gray knocks it back into the Hopkins zone. Time winding down in the period. And we will come to an end here in period number 2. Our score after 2, it's Armstrong-Cooper 4, Hopkins 1. The third period coming up in just a moment here on CCX Sports.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Welcome back here to New Hope Ice Arena. Much different second period than what we saw in the first, as Armstrong-Cooper dominated early and led 4-0. Hopkins definitely outplayed them in the second and scored the only goal of the period. As we get another look, big stop there early on for Justin Harding. And then Bobby Wilson came on in relief for Hopkins, started the second and played a solid second period. Royals get one through here as it went off a defenseman, and Greeley getting the goal on the shot from the point. That came up 4:06 into the period. And much of the rest of the period really was Hopkins outplaying AC, although a couple of good chances here that Wilson has to close the door on, and saw a lot of rough stuff at the end of that play as on many. And there's a quick hard shot by Schneider, and then again, pretty much most whistles we've seen some back and forth battling going on. Good rush opportunity here, but there's a big save. Harding's really been pretty solid in the pipe, between the pipes tonight for Armstrong-Cooper. There, that one he was a little slow to get over on, but he ultimately did still make the save. Another one there. I think they've got a little bit better. They've done a little bit better job overall than Hopkins in terms of defensive play, though, too. Yes. Not allowing as many rebounds or as many easy lanes to pucks. You see Wilson making a stop right there. So, you know, it is still a 3-goal game, Dan, yes. But at the same time, you definitely have more of a feeling that Hopkins is still in this one.
Well, they won that period 1-0. I mean, I as the coach go in and tell my team that that's a good thing. Build on it.
So it is 4-1 Wings, but they will be shorthanded to begin our third period. We'll be back here to New Hope Arena in just a moment.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back here to New Hope Ice Arena. 4-1 lead for the home team, Armstrong-Cooper. But Hopkins played a solid second period. They got the only goal of the period, and now trying to get things going here in the third, as will be 4-on-4, but then Hopkins will have a power play of a little over a minute. That's obviously barring any further penalties, and be interesting to see. We saw quite a bit of after the whistle stuff in front of both nets in that second period. Be interesting to see how the players react, but how they call this third period is going to make a difference too, because you want to protect your goalie, but at the same time you can't afford to take crucial penalties. With either side, it hasn't really been one or the other that's been better or worse about it either.
No, they let it go for a little while, and then they started calling some penalties, and I would expect they're going to set that up right away in the third period here. So if we get some scuffles, they're probably going to put him in the box again.
Wings trying to get the breakout going, floated ahead toward Ide at center, but a nice step up to take it there by Stack. Now here's a shot that deflects up and over the top as Sweeney tried to take aim there, and the defenseman got a piece of that one, so we'll get a draw in the Armstrong-Cooper zone. 1 second remaining in Slattery's penalty for Hopkins, so he's standing up and getting ready to come out, and then the Royals will be on a power play. So Hopkins is now back to 5 skaters, 5-on-4 man advantage here for Hopkins. Braden Gray carrying it in, shooting, and tried to sneak that one under the crossbar. Wilson was ready. Here's a long shot. Wilson gave up a big rebound there, and now he's going to cover it up and hang on as that long shot from Hayden Marsh came in on Bobby Wilson, who played the second period after Ethan Myers had played the first for the Royals.
Really nice offensive attack by the Wings here. I just maybe this period they didn't like getting outscored in that period. They're starting to set a tone here, so we'll see how they handle this penalty kill.
Sweeney on the rush here for Hopkins. That one broken up. The Wings unable to clear it on the initial try, but then the second try they do get it all the way down. And Hopkins will have to regroup here as Hoffman picks it up And here they come up ice. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Wasn't a full power play, of course. Now a nice move to the net. Backhand try goes just wide from Wyatt Nelson as he weaved his way through the D. Now the other way, an opportunity for AC. Jangala's shot. And Wilson able to make the stop here with 5 seconds remaining in the power play. Boy, end to end. Great move to the net here. Did everything but finish.
A little firework hockey going both ways here. That started, and then it started another rush for Jurgen going the other way.
Puck picked up here by Jangala as the penalty to Gergen is now over for AC. Back to 5 skaters aside. Here's that one thrown in on net, and Harding directs it to the corner. Jangala coming up with it here. Has a man eyed cutting to the middle. Drops the pass, but it was too far behind Ben Anderson to come up with it. A missed chance there. The plays like that were working for them in the very beginning of this hockey game. Now a battle for it here, and Eyed digs it free and tried to get it to Bjorn Jensen. Now a follow-up try, and Wilson fights that one off.
The Wings showing a lot more tight checking here, Jay, especially in the neutral zone. They're not going to let him run free here and gain the zone.
Just off the bench there, Sam Schreiner pinched in to keep that puck in the offensive zone for AC. Breakout pass there, broken up. Jangala putting it out front. That one is knocked away from Anderson. Wings get control back, or had it for a moment anyway. Ide couldn't control it in his skates. They play it back down toward the corner, and falling there was Greeley. At center ice, glove down and flick back ahead. Here comes Ben Anderson. Anderson shooting, and it's Wilson making the stop there for the Royals, and we will get a face-off in the Hopkins zone.
I'm reminded of a comment you made in the second period, Jay. You talking about the Wings with a 4-0 lead, thinking this game is over, and they stop skating. Guess what they're starting to do in the third period again? Their legs are moving again, and they are taking over and dominating like they did in the first period.
Pass flipped ahead, intercepted, and Gergen now will come up with it. Gergen floating the pass across, tried to go to Enderle. Just couldn't quite control that bouncing puck. Gergen putting it out front. Oh, deflected by Enderle. It might have been off his skate, but it came right in, and Wilson had to turn it aside. That one developed into a chance in a hurry. I'm not really too sure that Enderle even really got a stick on it, but it still nearly caromed in.
That 6'3" frame is from the stick to the skates is quite large and takes up a lot of territory, and get it on the puck as quick as you can with that big frame.
Face-off win by Gergen. They slide it across. Ooh, and that one deflects up and over the net. A lot of play here in the Hopkins zone here in this third period, as Dan mentioned. And thrown back down into the corner that time by Schreiner. And now it just came out. Offside call here against AC as Campion picked it off, but it had just cleared the blue line, so they'll make a line change here. And then Charleston has to like what he's seen much more here in this third period so far than what he saw in the second.
His first 3.5 minutes, they kind of, okay, we're coming back here and playing like we did in the first period. Their legs are moving, they're sharp on the puck, and they're fighting for every inch of it and doing a good job.
Fourth line getting a shift here for Armstrong-Cooper. Matt Campion between Parker Collins and Austin Kubelbeck as they played JV tonight, so just one availability just in this one period, and they'll throw them out early. And we get an icing call here. We'll head back into the Hopkins zone.
Now getting in people's way, the fourth line did a very nice job there, and they got an icing, so they get it back in the zone here, and that's what you want your fourth line to do. Do not get scored on. That's all I'm asking you to do. Give us a breather and don't get scored on.
3 sophomores who will get their opportunity. Now it comes loose out front and gathered up by Sweeney. Pass ahead, but intercepted near the blue line there by Axel. Now Axel will carry it in. Axel faking the shot and then jabbed away by Wilson. Boy, he had the defenseman all turned around there.
Yeah, he's not afraid to take the puck deep, is he?
They've got a couple. Jensen has really jumped into the rush, and Gray a little bit too.
Yeah.
Gray carrying it here. Flips a pass to Kubelbeck. He's able to direct it in. That fourth line now being called off on a change. Royals trying to get the puck out. Deflects back into the Hopkins zone. Yeah, they've really taken away time and space from Hopkins in this third period so far. Here comes Schneider. Schneider throwing it all the way across. Played back down deep. Schneider picks it up again. Schneider sending it across for Jensen. Jensen knocks it down low. It goes right on net. Wilson the save. Then he's a little out of position, but scrambled back in as they throw it back out front. All AC so far here in this third period. Here comes Gozic. Gozic trying to get wide and get a shot, but never really was able to get anything on it. And he picks the puck up again, though. Putting it out front. It goes off of Harding's pad. And here comes Armstrong-Cooper with Carter Lucas. Drop back there. Schneider's drive was knocked down. And then back up ice, Marsh throwing a check for AC. Played ahead, Lucas able to knock it in, and he'll head off on a change as Hopkins regroups. Remember what Coach Charleston said to us too? He was talking about the Providence game and said there were just so many whistles, and it didn't really help us. And now this game, the more skating, the more wide open, the more we've seen, stretches without whistles has definitely favored his team. He made a good point about what they do well.
Yeah, it's really good you remembered that. That's exactly what he said. And you can see how they get into a rhythm as they rock and go for it. Hopkins wanted to slow the game down. The Wings aren't letting that happen now.
Oh, and there's a turnover. Steinke. Now it's thrown out front. Wings able to gain control, and the pass ahead to Jangala there. Drops it back and knocked away from Ide, and then played back down deep. Ide up with it. Jangala battling there with Sweeney. And they come out of there with it. Jangala did. Ide trying to bring it out front, and Wilson will cover that one up here for Hopkins. 10:29 to go in the third. It is still 4-1 Armstrong-Cooper.
Well, Armstrong, too, now with that skating and that movement, Armstrong was showing some of those skill sets that Coach Johnson was talking about, too, the way they move the puck, the way their hands are working, and, wow, look at that.
Gergen a face-off win, and Enderle had the top corner picked out, but he just missed it. Now back down toward the corner. Gergen trying to reach that puck. They can't get it out. Hopkins has been really struggling to get it out all period. Here's Gray. Wilson, the stick save there, goes to the corner. Enderle up with it. Turns and fires. Wilson, lost track of it there as it hit him.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't sure where it was, but drops out of there. And we'll get an icing call here against Hopkins, and they have really been back on their heels. You see that sometimes, Dan. You almost wonder after you watch this game, was the ice tilted? Because every team that's been going left to right on our screen has outplayed the other.
Oh, that's an excellent point. You're right.
Off the draw, battle for it in the corner. Gray firing. It's off the leg pad there of Wilson. And Gray unable to keep it in here. Race is on. He has his stick tied up. And ultimately Gray came out of there with it, but thrown out front. Now a chance for a 2-on-1 here for Armstrong. Here's the shot, and Wilson able to deny Gergen there. The defenseman kind of played it neutral there and took away the pass, and so Gergen probably doing the right thing there, trying to put that shot. And Wilson, to his credit, this time did not give up a rebounder because there was another guy, I think it was Enderle, waiting to pounce.
Yeah, D played that very well, and the goalie knew what he was supposed to do, take the shooter.
Wilson jabs it to the corner. Royals now able to break the puck out. One of the few times they've been able to do so cleanly in this third period. And this one sent back out to center where it's picked up by Greeley for Hopkins. He has their only goal of the night. And this is going to be an offside, delayed offside, as Hopkins didn't realize it and didn't clear the zone. So 9:07 to go here in this third period, and the Wings have been dominating in the third, although not necessarily a lot of super good chances, but they've just maintained puck possession in the offensive zone and made Wilson work. And obviously, Hopkins isn't going to be able to come back if the puck's in their zone the whole time.
Well, you said it. The big difference is that the Wings are taking away time and space, especially in the neutral zone. So Hopkins really can't mount an attack. Then it goes back into their zone. And the Wings are moving the puck so well that they can't stop it. They're having trouble getting out. Total reasserting themselves by the Wings to play like they did in the first period.
Royals able to win the draw, and then that one slides all the way through to the corner. Hadley up with it. And a penalty coming against Armstrong-Cooper there as Marsh tripped up the Royals' Gazic. And it's going to be against Wiesjan. And you're right. Oh, I was wrong on both accounts. Yeah, Wiesjan will go for the penalty right there. And I was just thinking to myself how it's been a cleaner third period, and then couldn't have been more than 10 seconds later we get a penalty call there. That one on the trip.
Yeah, not really egregious or purposeful like some of the penalties were in the second period, but when it sticks in the way and knocks you down, they'll call it every time. And boy, the Royals got to make this one work. They need a goal, and they need one now.
So Wiesjan goes for the tripping minor. Jensen carrying the puck now for Armstrong-Cooper, shorthanded. Knocked away from him. Gazic coming up with it here for Hopkins. And trying to carry it right up the middle. We saw that a lot earlier on their power play. At that point, even just dumping it into the corner is going to be better than that.
Absolutely. Chase it and go get it, but don't try to stick it in the middle. You got every wing around there that's within reach of the puck.
And brought back in offside here by Hopkins as it was knocked down at center, and then Sweeney charging forward for the Royals.
Yeah, it's just been some fundamental errors that the Royals have really, taken themselves out of opportunities on these power plays. They just keep trying to force that middle, and it's get it to the outside, get it down low, and then bring it back up and set up.
And played by a high stick, it looked like there by Campion. Yeah. So we will come back into the Armstrong-Cooper zone. An unfortunate one for them a little bit because they had won that faceoff, but couldn't resist the temptation to play that one up high. Royals win the draw, but then they tried to go D to D, and it was not, they didn't read it the same way, and it's thrown all the way down the rink here. Wilson will stop it for Jesper Hoffman for Hopkins, but then they misfire on that pass, and Gray sends it back into the Royals zone. 45 to go in the power play for Hopkins. Again, they've really struggled to get anything set up with the man advantage. And this time they do ring it on in instead of turning it over, and they do get to it first.
And there you go. Now you're set up.
Back to the point, and Hadley throws it to the corner, really to no one there, and then it's kept in, a big rebound given up. Oh, and maybe a quick whistle there. The puck still seemed to be free, but a player had crashed into Harding as well, so a whistle to stop play.
Well, see the shot from the point here, and a rebound's given up. And number 12's in there, and he just gets sandwiched like a big warrior, and that should not have been called. That puck was wild loose. A good opportunity there.
Off the draw, quick blast, and a blocker save as Wyatt Nelson teed it up. Back out to the point, and there's gloved by Justin Harding here, who is, I think by all accounts, probably earned himself another start somewhere along the way. Maybe, not necessarily the next game immediately or whatever, depending on what their plan is. But I think Coach Charleston and his staff can feel confident to put him back in the net.
Oh, he's been tested quite a few times tonight, and some were easy, some weren't easy, and he's done a good job. I think the biggest note here that helping your goalie out with your defense. Armstrong's defense has played very, very well tonight.
Wings are at full strength.
Penalty is now over, so Wiesjan out of the box, and the Wings back to full strength. Nice stick handling here by Sweeney. Sweeney into the zone, waiting for help to arrive. Jab loosed and taken away. And floated back in. Hopkins has to touch up here. Jensen coming to get it. Jensen a little too nonchalant with that one, and the forecheck got him. Now Gergen swinging it around. Long pass looking at center for Enderle. And now Hopkins able to come away with it, but Jensen pushes it back out for Gergen. Back across, here's a shot, and it goes just wide from Enderle. And then the better of that collision gotten by Hopkins, Miles Halligan. Banked out, it's off a skate, turnaround try there, deflected wide by Jackson Stussy.
That was pretty.
And coming up ice there is Gergen. Penalty coming up against Hopkins. Yeah, Gergen was grabbed on the way by, and it will be a holding penalty against Hopkins. Though you might put that in the category of good penalty to take, because I think Gergen was going to be by him and a possible breakaway there.
Beautiful skate pass there to break it out from the winger up to the center, break it to Gergen, breaking through. That's what caught the defenseman off guard. That pass was just fabulous, and they caught him by surprise.
Zach Taylor will go for a hold. And so Armstrong-Cooper to the power play. Far less scoring chances in this third period, but it's been definitely a dominant period for Armstrong-Cooper. Yeah, they're not putting more goals on the board, but they're the team that already has the 3-goal lead. Coach Peterson talking with his Royals guys now, and obviously, it's going to be tall order either way, but pretty much a must kill for Hopkins at this point.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Again, you set small goals here now. Right now with the time and the way it's been going, you're probably not going to come back from a 3-goal deficit. But stop the one that's the power play that's coming. Let's build on that. And Coach Giles is saying, hey, here's our opportunity to put the dagger in, so to speak, on the Wayne Larrabee.
2 minutes for holding.
Armstrong-Cooper now has the shot lead, 33-31. I don't basically think they've led in shots, Jay, since 5 minutes left in the first period. And it shows their domination in the third period here. They've really stuck up really well and stepped up really well and done a good job. So we'll see if this power play can kind of put a nail in the coffin.
Hopkins' next game will be at Parade Ice Garden on Saturday as they take on the Minneapolis Co-op, and they're at Chaska next Tuesday. So we'll see what the Wings can do with this power play. They gain control of the face-off. Campion looking out front. Marsh is taking some abuse out front there, and then the puck got out of the zone. And Hopkins able to come up with it here and clear it off the glass. AC trying to quickly turn it around and get back up ice in a hurry here. Jensen carrying it in, knocked loose from him, but then Marsh tried to play it way deep but didn't really get it. They run into trouble near the blue line. They'll have to circle back and go again here. Wiesjohn carrying it up the middle. Wiesjohn turns to the outside, and it gets away from Jensen. Wings looking a little sloppy here on this power play. And taken away ultimately for Hopkins by Gazic. Gergen carrying it in. Gergen avoids traffic and then fired it just wide. No doubt he's been the most dangerous guy on the ice tonight.
He's magic. He really is magic when he gets his hands on the puck.
And a chance shorthanded now for Hopkins. Sweeney carrying it in on a breakaway. Oh, and he just missed. Looking to go top shelf there over the glove. It was really almost a 2-on-0 there for Hopkins.
Yeah.
Gergen now up with it for the Wings. 3:45 to go in the game. Under 20 to go in the power play for Armstrong-Cooper, but they already hold a 3-goal lead. Gergen. Now out high, it comes to Eid. Eid walking it to the middle. Nice shot block there by the Royals. but it comes loose to Gergen. Wilson a pad save. Penalty is now over to Hopkins, and the Royals ice it here. They didn't quite realize that their man had come back already, so an icing call against Hopkins. You get another look. Short-handed 2-on-0 and missed the net.
Now, see who the first person to the net was there? It was another Royal. Can't miss the net on a 2-on-0 or a 2-on-1. You've got to hit the pads of the goalie if you're not going in. At least give yourself a chance for a rebound, too. I tell you, the Royals, I think, got a real bright spot tonight, though, too. I believe that Bobby Wilson's come in and done a great job of goaltending for them.
Played in deep here by Hoffman as he gives chase. Now Gazic putting it in the slot. Nice shot block by Kubelbeck. Kubelbeck comes away with it here for the Wings, and then it glanced off the stick of Parker Collins. Follow-up try here, and Matt Campion pushing one wide of the net as the fourth line out for AC again, getting some confidence in them and playing them a few times here in this third. But here back the other way now come the Royals. Nordin slides it out front. Oh, what a great stop there by Harding. And the net has come off, so we'll stop play here as it's way off behind Harding. So Harding kind of putting an exclamation point on what's been a good night for him with this stop.
Oh, just inches away. You know, I think between Wilson and Harding, we've seen some pretty good goaltending tonight too, Jay. I think both teams, you know, have found something there.
Gergen coming out of there with it. Gergen on the move, drops it over left side, and that shot will sail up and over the top. Sweeney. And they bring it in offside here with 2:03 to go in the hockey game. Just quite never know how a game's going to advance. You know, you look at AC had 4 goals after one.
Yep.
And then they haven't scored again. But they've been able to really clamp down. And, you know, we said coming into the third that even though they were down 3, Hopkins was still in this game. But, you know, they just have really had the clamps put on them. There's a shot and a goal. Gergen going to add a little insurance there for Armstrong-Cooper. And he snipes it home with 1:53 to play.
That's your proverbial dagger right there. He's had a really great game. He's just, look at that. Short side top shelf. He had about a 3-inch by 3-inch hole to put that puck in. And he hit it right on the money.
So a 5-1 lead for Armstrong-Cooper. First goal since the second period for either team. First goal since the first for AC.
Number 10, J.T. Gergen. Assist goal number 18, Riley Enderley. It's Gergen.
That's been one of those games too, Jay, where you've just seen changes in between periods, switches in play, like you said, shifting the ice down to our right-hand side. And I like the way Hopkins battled back, especially in the second period, but the Wings came out and just definitely put their stamp on this game in the third period. That young man's quite a hockey player.
Here's a shot and it's in. Well, after such a fine night for Harding, that one snuck its way through him on the shot from the point. As you're getting another look at it, it's retrieved here and then pushed into the circle, and that shot making its way home is scored by Miles Halligan. Yep.
I don't think we called his name too much. I think he might have been out there as the third set of D.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't played a whole lot here tonight, but able to get that one home for a 5-2 score now.
Scoring for the Royals, number 18, Miles Halligan. Assist for number 4, Jackson Stussy. And number 12, Zach Taylor. Halligan from Stussy
Ducey and Taylor will get the assist as they score 33 seconds after the Armstrong-Cooper goal to make it a 3-goal hockey game again, 1:02 remaining. Get the 1-minute announcement here in this third period. Overskated a bit, but circling back to gather it there. Check thrown at center ice there by Ide. And Gray comes back to pick it up. Now Bjorn Jensen. Jensen carrying it up the right side, and then his pass behind its intended target. Knocked away, and here come the Royals. And a shot on net, and Harding able to make the stop, and then a little extracurricular. We really haven't had much of that in that third period after the second started to get quite physical. Oh, and they're coming into Schneider. As you saw the Hopkins player back there, Nordin it looked like basically challenging him. Go ahead and, Armstrong-Cooper was going to turn the other cheek, and then Schneider came in and said, no. You're not going to lip off to my guys like that and get away with it.
And Hopkins put a change of player, which is probably a pretty good idea, changing the line.
Yeah, it's really to nobody's benefit to have anything break out at the end here.
No, not with less than 10 seconds left.
So clock ticking down, and we will reach the end of this one. It is Armstrong-Cooper winning it by a score of 5-2. Very impressive first period and third period for the Wings. Hopkins battled back, but ultimately not enough. We will take a timeout and come back to hear from the Wings in just a moment. It is Armstrong-Cooper defeating Hopkins 5-2. Welcome back here to New Hope Ice Arena. Nice win tonight for Armstrong-Cooper as they beat Hopkins by a score of 5-2. And we're joined by a couple of the Wings right now, starting with Jack Ergen. A couple of goals for you tonight here. You guys jumped on them right away in that first period. How important was that tonight?
It was big. We were coming off a loss against Providence, a game we thought we probably should have won. And it was sectioned, so we emphasized speed right off the gate, and we wanted to get a good first period in.
Yeah, a couple goals in the first couple minutes kind of set the tone. And then I thought second period maybe wasn't quite as good for you guys, but coming out in the third, you just didn't get as many scoring chances, but definitely reestablished control. You know, what did you guys talk about in that second intermission?
We decided we had to just stay out of the box. You know, we said we were the better team 5-on-5 all night, and we just had to stay out of the box, nothing in front of the net, because we weren't getting too many calls, but stay out of the box and keep working, just like the first.
First start tonight for your goaltender, and I thought he handled himself pretty well. The last one maybe you would like to have back, but overall he made some big saves for you.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. I told him before the game he's got to take over the net because you're switching off goalies, but I think he did a good job tonight.
All right, congratulations on the win, and good luck the rest of the season here.
Thank you.
And Riley Enderle coming through with a nice performance tonight. You know, how much fun was this one for you guys?
Pretty fun. Coming off a loss is pretty hard for us, but coming back and winning 5-2 is pretty good for us.
You guys had a real nice season last year, and a lot of the guys back from that. You know, is it a good, confident team this year heading into the rest of the year?
Oh yeah, I think after the tournament, we just got all of our confidence back. So, and after tonight, 5-2, that's a pretty good win for our conference.
Definitely a tough road right up ahead here in the next couple of weeks. You got Maple Grove and Centennial and Blaine. You guys feeling ready for that opportunity?
Oh yeah, I think if we bring our A game, we could play a pretty good game.
We talked about last year at the end of the year, you know, there had been a very long time since a conference title was won in this program. How much did that do for you guys on the team, but also just the youth level and just everybody in the hockey program?
I think it brought us some sunlight just because you don't really hear from us. And winning that, it's like brings everyone back kind of together. So.
All right, Riley, congratulations on a nice win here. Have fun the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, Riley Enderle and Jack Gergen helping to get it done tonight for the Armstrong-Cooper win. So they're 2-1 on the season as they beat Hopkins here this evening, 5-2. For Dan Ficken and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from New Hope Arena.